Morning Bizzers. So I am actually going to try and do a photo shoot out here in this freezing cold weather after I get off the live today, thus the makeup and the earrings and the fancy coat. But we'll see how long I can last. It's just super cold and I couldn't put a hat on because I wanted to look nice for the photo shoot, so I'm like so cold. But today I want to talk to you about expectations, because I just recently, you guys know, I'm working on new things, new projects, new stuff, and I will bring you guys information as I have stats and numbers for you to give you advice about what to be doing for your businesses, as always. But until I have those stats and know that it works, I'm not going to bring it to you, because that's just, well, useless. So, suffice it to say, one of the things I've been testing just came back with a lot of stats, and I was sharing them in a group that I'm a part of, my mastermind, and I got the numbers and I was like, okay, so this is good, I'm not real happy with that. I'm evaluating what worked, what didn't, what I need to change, how I need to do things differently. And I decided to share all the stats with my group. And it was really funny to see how everyone responded to the stats differently. And so there was this one section that I was like, yeah, I'm really happy with this section, but this other thing that I did, I don't feel like went as well as it should have, because I have very high conversion rates typically for when I sell things. So I expect high conversion rates, because that's the normal for me. And so it was really interesting as I talked to people about my stats and as I'm getting feedback, how every person evaluated my stats completely differently. The section that I was really happy with, someone said that they thought that wasn't good enough and gave me advice about how to fix it. Another section that I wasn't happy with, pretty much everyone else told me that it was amazing. And so it got me thinking about your expectations. This is something, oh my goodness, it is so cold. This is something that I talk to my clients with about a lot, especially when we're talking about YouTube, which is apparently what I'm an expert in now. They come to me for advice, and I ask them, well, what's your goal? Because your goal is going to determine what advice I'm going to give you. And a lot of people say they want to monetize YouTube, which, for those of you who don't know, means you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And I can tell you that I've been doing YouTube for 6 years, 7 years. I'm not anywhere close to those numbers. Now granted, for those of you who've been to my webinar, you know that I sucked really bad when I started. But what I find is these clients who come to me and they want 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, they're not using the basic tools that YouTube provides you, just like I wasn't. But they expect to be able to build a channel in 6 months to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And I'm not saying that it is impossible for that to happen. If you already have an audience, if you have some type of a connection with a bigger influencer or a bigger brand, of course that's completely possible. But if you are a nobody who is just starting out and basically has no audience, barring a miracle, which is not something you can plan for, you are not going to hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in 6 months. It's just not going to happen. I don't care how good your SEO is. I don't care what topic you're talking about. It's not going to happen. So expectations. They determine whether you even have a chance of meeting your goals. They determine whether you see something as good or bad or somewhere in the middle. They determine what actions you take next. So if your expectations are whatever, let's stick with YouTube, 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And a month from now, you don't have that, and your expectation was you wanted to be done in a month. What is the likelihood you're going to continue YouTube? Probably not. Because you're going to be like, well, I didn't hit my expectations. I can't, YouTube stinks, it's not what I want to do. Really good example of this, for those of you who are in income, or even if you're not, would be giveaways. I get a lot of pushback from people about giveaways. Well, I've done giveaways, they don't do anything. Nobody actually buys. It's a terrible list. Okay? If your expectation was that your giveaway was going to get you 1,000 new email list subscribers, and you were giving away this specific set of earrings that only appeals to 10% of people, Of course your giveaway wasn't very good. It's all about your expectations. Just because something doesn't work once doesn't mean it can't work. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have to be realistic plus. That's what we're going to call it. You think about what is realistic, and then you say, okay, this is what's realistic, but I want to do better than that. But you don't go crazy, right? So if your annual revenue is $10,000 a year, and you're like, next year I'm going to make $1 million. That is completely unrealistic. Like, you would have to have the most awesome action plan with like celebrities and everything to make that happen. You'd have to have a lot of disposable, like a lot of money to throw at it to even come remotely close to that. But if your revenue this year was $10,000 and next year you're like, I'm going to double that, or I'm going to even triple that, that sounds like a lot, right? So it still is a big goal, but it's reasonable plus, right? It's realistic plus. So realistic might be, I'm going to grow it by half, so 15,000 next year. That seems pretty realistic. Getting up to 30,000 seems like, okay, that's realistic plus. And those are the types of goals that I want for you. I want you to be able to make those goals that sound a little bit far-fetched, but not so far-fetched that they're impossible. So I thought it was really interesting talking to these women and hearing the different perspectives on what was reasonable and what should be expected. And it really made me think about how we set our expectations and how those expectations determine our view of our own success. And so I would love to talk with you. If you need help figuring out what your expectations should be, if you're starting a new thing and you don't really know, message me, comment on this video. We can set up a 15-minute coffee chat and I'll talk with you about it. I can help you set those realistic expectations so that realistic plus expectations so that you're not just feeling like you're never making any progress, right? And then once you get to the point where you know if you've met those expectations, you get the fun of making a new action plan. Honestly, that's one of my favorite things, is to look at the numbers and go, okay, this is what worked, this is what didn't. Now what's the next step? Based on these numbers, based on these stats, based on my expectations, what do I do next? I think that's all I have for you guys today. I want you to think about what your goals are this year. We're already on January 20th. Have you set goals for 2023? Are they realistic? You need to write it down. So one of the things I did in 2022 is I actually wrote on a piece of paper what my revenue goal was. And it was stuck behind my monitor on my computer so that I literally had to see it every single day. It's one of the smartest changes I made to my business in 2022 was to have that revenue goal posted. And then I had a plan of how I was going to get there. This is what I'm going to do different so that I can reach this goal. And every single day I saw it, and every single day I said, I'm gonna hit that goal. I'm gonna hit that goal. I'm gonna do whatever is necessary to hit that goal. And it kept me motivated. And when I got to the end of the year, and I realized the likelihood of me hitting that goal was basically impossible, it was no longer a realistic plus expectation, I said, that's okay. I did amazing things this year. I doubled my revenue this year, and my goal was maybe a little bit above what was realistic plus. Sometimes you may not hit your goal because you may shoot a little higher than is reasonable, but by having that goal posted there, it kept me motivated, and I highly recommend you do something very similar. This year I changed it up a bit. I put my revenue goal and I have memberships, which is something I highly recommend utilizing no matter what industry you're in. I have a few friends that are very successful with it in e-com, and I know a lot of people who are successful with it in coaching and services. But I took my revenue goal and I broke it down into how many memberships I would need. And so in addition to that revenue goal, I put a membership goal. And every day I see that list and I know where I'm at and am I making progress on it. So I really recommend that you think about your expectations, then you write them down and look at them every single day. And you will be amazed how that will change your business in the course of a year. Tiny, tiny steps every day add up to huge, huge changes at the end of the year. That's what I've got for you guys today. Now I've got to go try and do a photo shoot. I've got a little bit more light now, so hopefully it means I can get it. Wish me luck. Let me know if you need anything. I'm so glad we get to live our dreams together every single day. I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.